Hi, I'm Shannon Dietz with Just Show Up on CatholicRevolver.com. Just Show Up is a news segment in which I will be sharing with you moments in my day where God might have shown up for me or I might have shown up for God. And what I mean by this is, have you ever noticed that when you go throughout your day, that every day could possibly be the same as the next? You get up, you work out, you take your kids here and there, or maybe you don't have kids, maybe you're going to school, you're dealing with your teachers, you're dealing with tests, you're dealing with coworkers at your job. Whatever the case may be, we get up, we do the same thing, we go home, we watch our normal TV shows, and then we go to bed. Well, one day I recognized I don't want to live this same life every day, all the time. There must be something more in my days than just the same humdrum thing. What am I missing? What I was missing was the multitude of ways in which God was showing up for me through other people, through my coworkers, through the people on the streets or people at the grocery store or whatever the case may be. And I was also missing a great opportunity to be able to be a vessel for Him to show up to someone else in their day. As an example, today, literally 30 minutes ago, I just had an exterminator come over here to do our quarterly extermination at the house. He was going through, spraying the house, and he said, "How's everything going?" I said, "Fine." I kind of told him a little bit about what was new with my ministry, Hopeful Hearts Ministry, and what was going on with the re-release of Exposed. And he said, "Oh, that's wonderful. Didn't I read that like a year ago?" And I said, "Yeah, you did." And he started telling me about his work that he has been doing with a particular organization that helps people get through their addictions. And so as he's talking to me about this, he's standing there and he's telling me all of this stuff that he has learned about how to cope with different situations and about how important it is for us to be able to look through and peel back the onion and get to that point in our lives where we learned to cope with certain circumstances in our lives. Now, as he's telling me this, I'm thinking, wow, because he's validating me. You see, an hour ago, I was just in spiritual direction with this woman at our church, and she was too talking to me about the fact that it's time for me to start peeling back some more layers to get to a particular place that I have not quite had the guts to reach. But I know that this is a place that I need to go and to learn to heal and to recognize, where am I and what has God, brought me through with this moment in my life that I've learned to hide and to cope a certain way that's now preventing me from being the best person that God needs me to be in order to do the ministry He's called me to do. You see, her homework for me was to focus on myself for a month and to pray for myself. Well, that's just really hard for me. And I don't mean that in a arrogant way. I mean that sincerely. A part of me just feels weird to pray for me. I just want to pray for others. And so here's this man who's standing before me, truly a stranger. I mean, I see him, I don't know, 2-3 times a year if I'm the one that's here and my husband's not. And he's starting to tell me the very thing that she was also trying to explain to me. And he said to me, "You cannot truly offer your ministry unless you are completely right with yourself and that you are 100% certain that you have come through and have acknowledged whatever mechanisms you've used to cope and to hide. You need to be authentic so that others can see that within your ministry." And I just looked at him because he was very validating to me. He validated what she said. It's almost as if God was saying, if you're not going to listen to her, you're going to need to listen to this stranger, and this is where I want to take you. I'm going to listen. And that's what I'm going to do for the next month. I'm going to try to pray and focus on whatever it is that God needs me to focus on for this year. So Father, I just thank you so much for giving me this gift of showing up through the exterminator. Who knew, right? But the thing is, I allowed that to happen because I sat here and I allowed that conversation to happen. I could have very well just said, yep, life is going good. Here's your check. Have a good day. How will you show up for God today? Or how will you allow God to show up for you? Learn more about Just Show Up at my website, hopefulheartsministry.com, or you can get there also by shannonmdietz.com. Thank you and God bless.